Unlock your miraculous flow. Divine meditation for women reveals wealth within 3 days. Sarah was in the church library, the sun streaming through stained glass windows, casting colorful patches of light on her weary face. She felt the weight of worry, her husband's health declining, her children needing her more than ever. A true prayer warrior, battling the storms of daily life. It seemed hopeless until that fateful moment. Nestled between dusty volumes, she uncovered it, a pamphlet gleaming with promise, divine meditation. The words danced before her, wealth, blessings, all in just 3 days. Could this be a revelation or mere gimmick? With a heart bursting with skepticism but eyes lit by a flicker of hope, she clutched the pamphlet. Her grandmother's voice echoed in her mind, urging her to seek divine guidance through prayer. Invoke St. Jude, she remembered, the saint for hopeless cases. Vowing to include her children in this newfound practice, they gathered each morning, hands clasped, hearts open, petitions rising like fragrant incense. Little by little she began to meditate, each session becoming a sacred refuge amidst her chaos. The journey was neither smooth nor swift. Doubt slithered in, wrapping around her spirit tightly. Her husband's health worsened, bills piled like bricks balancing precariously atop her shoulders. In a crucial moment in the kitchen, she stared at her old job application, one that would draw her away, sacrifice precious time with family, presenting promises of sorely needed income. Her heart ached at the thought of abandoning her prayers for a quick fix. But then, as if heaven intervened, the unexpected happened in her church. During Saturday's service, a fellow parishioner stood, eyes shining with tears. The elderly man spoke of his miraculous healing, once riddled with disease, now vibrant with life. The crowd gasped, hearts ignited with fervor. This wasn't just a story, it was a divine manifestation. Sparks of faith crackled through the air, electrifying her spirit. "Lord, help my disbelief," she cried silently. Suddenly, a wave of clarity struck. She stepped deeper into prayer, feeling as if the entire universe leaned in to listen. As she poured out her heart, warmth enveloped her like a blanket, the kind that nourished deep-seated fears. With newfound surrender, she visualized her family surrounded by light. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As days blurred into nights, the miraculous began to unfold. Unexpected checks arrived in the mail, groceries mysteriously placed upon her doorstep, laughter filled her home once more. Each blessing felt like a whisper of encouragement from above, shedding light onto her path of renewed faith. Yet, amid the joy lingered a question that pricked her heart. Was this truly the end of her journey, or just the beginning of something even greater? Each week brought more miracles, igniting her community around her, all echoing faith, prayer, and joy. They were living testimonies of divine love. Yet Sarah sensed a deeper purpose just beyond her grasp, tantalizing yet elusive. As she looked around the church, her heart raced with anticipation. What wonders awaited her on this divine adventure? What light awaited to flood her life? The answer felt just beyond the veil, inviting her deeper into the mysteries of faith. As the weeks passed, Sarah found herself awakening to a world drenched in possibility. Each morning felt fresh, as if angels painted the sunrise just for her. Her children's laughter harmonized with the songs of birds outside, filling her with a gratitude she never knew she could experience. The simple act of prayer transformed into a cherished ritual, bonding them as a family, intertwining their hearts in ways she had only dreamed of. One particular evening, as twilight enveloped the sky, she gathered them once again in the warmth of their living room. Candles flickered gently, casting an inviting glow. She felt a wave of inspiration wash over her. "What if we add an intention for someone else tonight?" she suggested, her heart racing with excitement. "Let's pray for Mrs. Thompson, our elderly neighbor. She seems lonely." Her children's faces brightened at the thought of expanding their circle of love. With sincerity they closed their eyes, interlocking their hands tighter. A gentle hush fell over the room as they sent heartfelt prayers spiraling into the heavens. Sarah could feel an undeniable energy forming, an expansive love returning to them like a soft echo. In that sacred space, she realized that miracles weren't just occurring for her family, they were becoming part of something larger. Their simple acts of kindness promising to uplift others turned into threads weaving her community close together. The bright light of hope began to envelop them all. However, doubt still lurked in the shadows, whispering questions late into the night. Were these blessings mere coincidences? Would the joy last? One evening, wrapped in her favorite blanket, Sarah pored over scriptures, her fingers tracing the lines filled with promises of provision and care. She stumbled upon Matthew 7:7. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and it will be opened to you. Tears streamed down her face. This was it, a promise that resonated so deeply within her spirit. She had knocked, sought, and now the door was swinging open wide. Yet what lay beyond it? Her heart danced with anticipation. Days transformed into weeks, and again they gathered to pray on a Sunday, the air thick with expectation, eyes glistening. When the church bells rang, it felt as if heaven itself echoed with them. Each person shared testimonies, new jobs, healings, renewed relationships, sparking joy within Sarah's heart. She felt the community as a living tapestry, each thread shining with divine promise. Yet even amidst this collective joy, she felt a tug at her spirit, a sense of urgency whispering for her to dig deeper. What if God had even more in store for them? Could they engage in a prayer circle, reaching out beyond their walls? Her heart fluttered at the thought, an opportunity to spread love, hope, and spiritual connection. As she envisioned the upcoming week, excitement sparked alive within her. What they could achieve together, in unity and faith, seemed limitless. "Dear Lord," she whispered, filled with anticipation, "guide us as we explore where this path may lead. What would happen when they opened their hearts even wider? What transformation awaited them in this divine exploration?" Sarah could hardly catch her breath as she leaned into the unknown, understanding that the rich journey of faith was just beginning. The moment of realization arrived, and the next step loomed ever closer. What divine adventure awaited just beyond the horizon? The dawn of the new week broke with a vibrant energy, as Sarah couldn't shake the exhilarating feeling that something wonderful was on the horizon. Each day felt like an invitation waiting to be unwrapped. The children, sensing her enthusiasm, joined her in her daily preparations. They spoke of their hopes, their imaginations running wild with possibilities. Sarah knew this was the moment to act on her vision of a prayer circle, and she was determined to nurture their growing spirits. That evening, Sarah gathered the children again, a gentle resolve filling her heart. "What if we invite our friends, others in need of connection? We could create a circle, a space where everyone can share love and prayer," she proposed, her voice trembling with excitement. Her children's eyes lit up like the candles that danced before them. "Let's invite Mr. and Mrs. Brown. They lost their dog recently and must be feeling sad," little Emma suggested, her brow furrowed in thought. "Yes," agreed Joshua, bouncing on his feet. "And what about our classmates at school? They could use some prayer to feel hopeful again, especially with exams coming up." With a plan forming, Sarah's heart swelled. The love they had cultivated so far was beginning to stretch its wings. They made calls, wrote notes, and soon enough the community buzzed with curiosity and warmth. Invitations were sent, and the air became thick with anticipation. When the fateful evening came, Sarah arranged the living room, a sacred haven for their communal spirit. As the doorbell chimed, one by one, friends and neighbors arrived, each one carrying their own burdens and joys. Voices filled the space, laughter intermingling with solemn reflections, each person a unique thread in their growing tapestry. As they gathered in a circle, her heart raced. "Welcome, everyone," she began. She felt the weight of each soul before her, but also an incredible lightness. "Tonight, we're here to connect and uplift each other. Let's share our thoughts and prayers, release our worries, and strengthen one another." With the first prayer offered, simple yet profound, a gentle hush fell over the group. One by one, they took turns sharing, blending heartfelt stories and prayers like a melodious choir. From the struggles of Mr. Brown with his health, to young Sophia's anxiety over school, each vulnerability shared was met with understanding, compassion, and quiet peace. Tears flowed, yet they were mixed with joyful laughter. Sarah could feel the divine presence in that room, swirling gently like the warm summer breeze. Each prayer offered flowed from heart to heart, knitting the circle tighter, weaving invisible bonds of love around them. As the hour passed, something shifted. Sarah noticed a lightness in the air, as if burdens were being lifted. In moments of stillness, she caught glimpses of radiant joy shining in her friends' eyes. They were not just participants, they were becoming a movement fueled by grace. "Let's end this with a prayer for our community," Sarah proposed, excitement bubbling within her. Gently they all closed their eyes, hand in hand, sending their collective energy outward, wrapping their neighborhood in a blanket of love. When they opened their eyes, a sense of hope lingered, a sweet aftertaste of healing. As friends exchanged hugs, Sarah realized this was more than she imagined. They had ignited a new beginning, a divine adventure that extended far beyond that living room. But lingering questions swirled in Sarah's mind. What changes awaited them in the days to come? Would their blossoming community uncover greater revelations together? With her heart dancing in her chest, Sarah glanced at the stars peeking through her window, wondering what remarkable blessings might await them next. As the days rolled on, the glow of that magical evening cast a warm light over Sarah and her children. The prayer circle lingered in their hearts, creating an unshakable bond. Each day felt like a new chapter in their vibrant story, rich with possibility and purpose. In the following week, the children began to express their thoughts more freely. Emma, inspired, suggested they record their prayers and reflections in a special journal. "We could call it our blessings book. Each time someone shares, we can write it down to remember," she urged, her eyes sparkling with excitement. "Yes, that way we can see how our prayers change things," Joshua chimed in, already imagining how they would fill the pages with hope and joy. Sarah agreed, feeling her spirit lift as they worked together to create this new practice. They crafted the journal beautifully, decorating it with colorful drawings and heartfelt phrases. It felt like a sacred vessel. They were not just recording words, they were capturing the pulse of their growing community. As they penned their first entries, Sarah felt inspired to reach beyond their living room. "What if we extend this circle? We could take our blessings book to the park this weekend and invite even more friends," she proposed. The children squealed with delight. "Yes, we can spread our love out into the world," Emma exclaimed, bouncing on her toes. With fervent hearts, they prepared for the park gathering. Flyers were made, words spoken in the community, and Sarah began to sense an energy building, a divine anticipation enveloping them all. When the day arrived, the sun shone brightly, warming their spirits. Families began to gather, filling the park with laughter and chatter. Sarah felt elation wash over her as she watched her dream blossom before her eyes. As they set up their space under the shade of an old oak tree, Sarah stood back for a moment. She took a deep breath and soaked in the beauty around her. Families, children, and friends had come together, drawn by a simple call for connection and prayer. The circle formed again, with eager participants ready to share their joys and burdens. Sarah initiated the first prayer, her voice steady and calm. "Welcome, friends. Just like last time, we're here to share, connect, and uplift one another in love." As prayers started to flow, each person's voice added new richness to the atmosphere. Stories of hope mixed with struggles, and the circle pulsed with heartfelt sincerity. Sarah felt divine energy weaving through them, uplifting spirits one by one. Yet, as vibrant as this gathering felt, she noticed something else stirring within her, a significant realization. Deep in the midst of the prayers, a subtle voice whispered within her spirit, urging her to open her heart even wider. "Perhaps there is a greater calling here," the thought echoed, nudging her to spread this love beyond their immediate circle. She watched as families engaged with one another, eyes bright, spirits rising, yet she couldn't help but sense that there was still more waiting to emerge. As the final prayer rolled off their lips, a gentle stillness surrounded them. Each participant closed their eyes, feeling the connection wrap around them like a comforting embrace. Then Sarah felt a gentle tug at her spirit, leading her to ask one last question. What if we don't just pray for ourselves? What if we pray for those beyond our circle, those in need around us? The ripple of her words flowed through the crowd, each person absorbing the invitation with curious hearts. It was in that moment of collective stillness, with anticipation thick in the air, that Sarah couldn't help but wonder. What transformation awaited them as they ventured into the deeper waters of prayer and connection? Would they discover the power of expansion together, reaching hearts far beyond the park? All she could do was trust the journey ahead. As the sun lowered in the sky, casting a warm golden hue across the park, a palpable excitement hung in the air. Sarah opened her arms wide, as if inviting the universe to join them, and her heart brimmed with hope. "Let's take a moment to focus our intentions," she suggested, her voice soft yet resonant. The group fell silent. Eyes closed, they breathed together, feeling the sacredness of the moment envelop them. For just a breath, everything seemed to align. The world outside faded, and the only reality was this connection, this circle of souls journeying together. After the stillness, Joshua shyly raised his hand. "Can I share a prayer for the homeless folks we see on our way to school?" His expression was earnest, and Sarah smiled, her heart swelling with pride. "Absolutely, Joshua, that's beautiful." As he prayed, the gentle sincerity of his words washed over everyone like a warm blanket on a chilly evening. Each participant began expressing similar prayers, intentions shifting from their personal needs to a wider embrace of those facing struggles. "Let's add their names to our blessings book," Emma suggested, her voice filled with determination. "We'll remember them." A chorus of agreement echoed around the circle, and Sarah felt light dance in her spirit. "An act of love is a miracle waiting to unfold," she whispered, feeling the divine flow surge through her. It felt like a flood of dreams, prayers turning into ripples, reaching beyond the park, touching hearts yet unknown. As the sun dipped further, casting shadows through the branches above, Sarah sensed a stirring in her heart. There was something sacred in the air, a call to step beyond their cozy gathering, a pressing instinct to take this newfound purpose to the streets. The believers were not just a circle, they were becoming a movement. "Friends, what if we don't just keep our prayers here?" Sarah's voice wobbled with vulnerability. "What if we went out and met those we're praying for? What if we made connections right where they are?" Gasps of surprise followed, replaced quickly by bubbling enthusiasm. Emma burst forth with, "And we could bring our blessings book. They could add their hopes and prayers too." The children began clamoring with excitement. Adults looked at one another with wide eyes, contemplating this divine mission blossoming in real time. Sarah's heart raced as she saw the walls of their circle beginning to expand. "Imagine with me," Sarah encouraged, her voice growing firmer. "We can serve meals, share our blessings, and show love in action. The beauty we create won't just stick to us, it will change lives." Her words sparked something deep inside, igniting minds and hearts alike. Several voices chimed in, thrilled at the thought of stepping into a wider purpose. They would take their unity into the world, scattering seeds of hope like a firework illuminating the night sky. "And then, we should come back here and share what we've experienced," Joshua added, his eyes full of determination. "Everyone must know the good we did." As they talked through the plans, Sarah felt an overwhelming warmth in her heart. It felt alive, electric, all of them drawn towards a greater purpose. But then, a quiet nudge whispered to her spirit, beckoning her to seek that greater calling, one yet unseen. What if the transformation we seek isn't just in us, but in everyone we touch? She pondered, looking out at the approaching dusk. The group fell back into excited discussion, envisioning their next steps. Yet deep within Sarah's soul, an exhilarating yet chilling thought began to settle. What if they too would face challenges, shadows as they moved forward in faith and love? And just as the last rays of light disappeared behind the horizon, a question loomed larger than life. What trials would they encounter as they embraced the call to share their faith beyond their circle? Would they uncover the true essence of love in action that awaited them in the heart of those they sought to serve? The following morning dawned bright and clear, the air fresh with promise. Sarah felt a flutter of anticipation as she gathered the group once more in the park. The blessings book rested unassumingly in her bag, yet she could almost sense its weight of love and intention. Today, they were stepping boldly into something transformative. "Today is the day," she exclaimed, her enthusiasm contagious. The children bounced on their toes, and even the adults wore smiles hinting at the adventure ahead. "Let's remember, we're not just sharing food or blankets, we're sharing ourselves, the love we're all made of." As they walked, Sarah led them in a gentle rhythm, each step echoing her heartbeat. Their destination lay just a few blocks away, where homelessness bore down like an unyielding shadow. The sight tugged at Sarah's heart, however. Today, hope would rise with them. The children started to whisper excitedly about what they might say. Joshua's eyes sparkled with ideas. "Maybe we can ask them to share their names first? We'll remember them better." "Exactly," Sarah replied, beaming. "Names are sacred. They hold stories much deeper than we see." They arrived where a few individuals sat on a low wall, their faces weathered yet filled with stories yearning to be told. Sarah felt the energy shift. She glanced back at her group, each face a mix of eagerness and uncertainty. "Let's remember to lead with love," she whispered, praying silently for courage to light up their hearts. With a deep breath, Sarah approached a young man cradling a small dog. "Hi there, we're here to share some blessings today." The warmth of her voice melted the ice of initial hesitation, and the man offered a crooked smile. "I could use some blessings," he replied, a chuckle escaping his lips. An unexpected joy washed over her. "We brought meals and things to keep you warm, and we'd love to hear your name if you're willing to share." The laughter that followed was a sound of connection, a gospel of shared humanity. Moments passed, and soon the young man, introducing himself as Andy, was grinning as he accepted their offerings. His dog, a small ball of fur, eagerly nibbled at the treats offered by the children, who giggled with delight. As the group interacted, each child and adult took turns expressing their thoughts, hopes, and even fears. Stories began to flow, mingling like sweet melodies overhead. Every shared name added another layer of connection, making the moment feel almost sacred. "One of my wishes is to be back on my feet," Andy confided, his voice steady yet tinged with vulnerability. "Just an opportunity." A hush fell over them, the weight of his words pressing into their hearts. Sarah felt a surge of compassion, a desire to inspire, something deeper than she had ever expected. "What if we could help with that?" she murmured, an idea sparking within her. "What do you mean, Sarah?" Emma asked, her voice curious yet uncertain. "What if we connect you with organizations that can help? We can pool our resources, spread the word." Sarah's heart raced, a vision unfolded. They could be more than mere visitors. They could be advocates, allies in a collective journey toward healing. Yet as excitement flowed, a shadow of doubt crept in. What if the world wasn't ready? What if they faced rejection? The challenges appeared clearer than ever on the horizon as clouds gathered overhead, hinting at storms yet to come. And so, as they shared laughter and intentions, the reality loomed. Would their love in action be met with gratitude or resistance? What struggles lay ahead as they endeavored to meet these souls again? The true test of their love was just beginning. The sun began to dip low in the sky, casting a warm golden hue over the park as the conversations continued to flow. Laughter mingled with the crisp air, stitching together hearts that had never met before. Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of purpose swell within her. The children, innocent vessels of joy, surrounded her, each one sharing their dreams and wishes with Andy and his friends. As others gathered around, a kind woman named Clara approached them. She had been observing quietly from a distance, her expression a blend of curiosity and hope. "What you're doing is beautiful," she said softly, her eyes shimmering with unshed tears. "It's so rare to see people reaching out in kindness." "Thank you," Sarah replied, her heart warming at the sight of this newcomer. "We're just trying to connect and share love. Would you like to join us?" Clara nodded, her gratitude evident. "I'd love to. My heart has been longing to do something, but I never knew how." Her voice held a promise, a yearning for action. As others began to form a circle around Andy and the children, Sarah sensed a shift, a gathering of spirits united in purpose. Each soul brought forth a piece of hope, amplifying the energy in the air. Like embers igniting a flame, the mood grew electric with possibility. "Let's all share something today," Sarah suggested. "A wish or a blessing. We can create a chain of hope." The tension that accompanied vulnerability could be felt, yet she inspired it to fade. Joshua spoke first, his small voice unwavering. "I wish that everyone finds a home." The immediate silence that followed felt sacred, drawing nods of agreement and shared longing. One by one, each person poured out their heart. A young woman, her eyes reflecting courage, wished for brighter days. An older gentleman expressed a desire for community and connection. As Andy heard these words, a spark ignited in his eyes. "What if we could help each other?" he posed, the light of resilience alongside his vulnerability. Sarah smiled, her spirit lifting. "That's exactly it. Together we're strong. If we all pool our talents and resources, imagine what we could face." Spurred by the shared desire for change, they began discussing practical steps, each idea weaving a new tapestry of hope. The children clamored for ways to help make posters. "We can spread the word about helping each other," Emma chimed in enthusiastically, her excitement infectious. Each contribution sparked further inspirations, creating a beautiful harmony of voices resonating with love. Yet, amid their excitement, Sarah paused. A stillness washed over her as she glanced skyward, noticing dark clouds rolling in. The world beyond their circle loomed larger and more threatening. The worries flickered at the edges of her heart. What if we don't get the response we hope for? What if they won't come? The question hung heavy, a gentle reminder that with love comes the risk of rejection. But before doubt could root itself, Sarah felt the urging warmth of courage rise up. She took a breath and gathered her group closer. "Even if we face challenges, our hearts are meant to shine brightly. We were made for this." The path ahead seemed daunting, but a flame flickered within her, igniting determination. They formed a chain, hands clasped in unity, eyes radiating shared resolve. Together, they released their wishes into the universe, praying for guidance, protection, and courage to face the storms ahead. As night began to settle, illuminating the sky with stars, the realization set in. True transformation was not just about the blessings they shared, but about the profound connections forged through vulnerability and shared dreams. Deep within, something significant was brewing. The next step in their journey was waiting, and the spark of faith ignited belief in their hearts. Little did they know that soon they would be guided into a new realm of possibilities, even beyond their wildest dreams. What divine surprises awaited them next? What would unfold as they stepped boldly forward, hand in hand, into the unknown? The air felt different as the stars began to twinkle overhead, shimmering like dreams waiting to be realized. Sarah sensed an energy pulsing through the circle, a connectivity that reached deep within the souls present. The hushed sounds of the park, now enveloped in night, seemed to listen intently to their wishes. Around her, the children had settled into a quiet stillness, their innocence a powerful reminder of hope. Clara stood beside them, her expression reflecting the earnestness of their gathering. "What's next, Sarah?" she asked, her eyes wide with anticipation. Her question stirred something inside Sarah. "We need to let our voices carry beyond this moment. We can paint a picture of our dreams for everyone to see." Excitement coursed through her. "Let's create a night of light, a festival where we can invite the whole community to join us." A ripple of enthusiasm spread through the circle. Ideas blossomed like flowers awakening to the dawn. Emma leaped up, shouting, "We can have games, music, and a place for everyone to share their wishes." "Yes, let's make it a safe space for all," Joshua added, his eyes bright. As each suggestion poured forth, Sarah felt an electrifying sense of unity. The thought of anticipation sent warmth flooding through her heart. We can reach hearts that need to be found, and who knows, this could lead to something extraordinary. Laughter rang out amidst the planning, cutting through the stillness of the evening. Each child's excitement reflected the wider spirit of hope, reminding Sarah that even the smallest light can illuminate the darkest path. Yet, as they shared their visions, a shiver of doubt brushed against the edges of her faith. The clouds still loomed in her mind, shadows of what could go wrong creeping in on them. What if no one came? Would their efforts fall flat? The fear lingered, threatening to snuff out the light they were igniting together. She took a deep breath, letting the thoughts dissolve into the night air. "Remember what we just shared?" she said gently, causing every head in the circle to nod. "We're building something greater than ourselves. The universe honors our commitment. It may not look like we expect it to, but love will find its way," she assured them, her voice steady. "Yes," Clara said, her face radiating joy. We trust that what we're doing has purpose, and that alone is powerful. Encouraged by her words, they joined hands once again. This time, they didn't just release wishes, they celebrated the strength of their commitment. Together, we will see miracles, Sarah proclaimed, her spirit soaring with each declaration spoken. The night deepened, stars shimmering like a tapestry of divine connection above. In that sacred moment, something miraculous stirred. An undeniable warmth swept over them. A promise of transformation nestled within their resolve. Little did they realize that their bold step into the unknown was not just an act of hope. It was an opening to divine possibility that grander plans were being woven into existence. As they released their joined hands, anticipation danced in the air. What strange beauty awaited on their journey? What would blossom when they ventured forth, powered by love and courage? A spark flickered, igniting a newfound thrill. The time was drawing near for their destiny to unfold, and the weight of the world would shift in response. The adventure was just beginning. What miraculous twists lay ahead? The morning light broke through the trees as the sun slowly stretched its rays across the park, illuminating the remnants of the gathering. Kids buzzed with excitement, their hearts still soaring from the energy of the night before. Sarah stood outside, breathing in the fresh air, her heart full of hope and trepidation. She could almost hear the whispers of possibility dancing on the breeze. "Good morning, Sarah." Clara's cheerful voice broke her reverie, pulling her from her thoughts. The young girl bounded up to her, a skip in her step. "Do you really think we can do it?" "Yes, Clara, I believe we can," Sarah replied with a confidence she was slowly learning to embody. "We've set our intention, and now we must trust that everything will fall into place." Clara nodded, her eyes sparkling. "I want to help. Can we make posters? We need everyone to know about the festival." Great idea! Sarah's heart warmed at the thought of connecting with the community. She envisioned colorful posters adorned with vibrant drawings and heartfelt messages. This was the beginning of their connection weaving stronger. As they gathered supplies, more children trickled in, eager to contribute. They worked together, laughter mixing with the sounds of rustling paper. Each child was eager to share their unique vision. Some drew balloons, while others sketched dancing figures. Every act of creation felt like magic. As hearts joined together in shared purpose, Sarah felt something shifting in the atmosphere, a gentle encouragement from above. Each artful creation seemed to carry their hopes, painted in radiant hues and sweet innocence. The responsibility of leadership weighed less on her shoulders with every joyous giggle that echoed around her. Once the posters were complete, Sarah gathered the kids. "Let's go hang these up. We'll place them where everyone can see." The thrill in her voice was infectious, propelling the group toward action. But as they walked through the park, an underlying fear tugged at her again. What if no one came? What if they spent all this energy for nothing? A knot stirred within her stomach, but then she remembered Clara's faith-filled face. "Our love and commitment is powerful," she whispered to herself, trying to let the doubts fade. When they reached the community board, Sarah took a moment to pause. "We're doing this for everyone, not just for us, but for those yearning for connection. This festival is a beacon of hope," she encouraged the children around her, feeling the weight of her words lift her spirit. One by one, they began to tape their creations onto the board. Each poster told a story, an invitation to the community to unite in their dreams, laughter, and wishes. As they stepped back to admire their collective work, a gentle breeze danced through the park, fluttering the colorful edges of the posters. "Look, it's like they're alive!" Emma exclaimed, pointing to their masterpieces. "That's because they are. Each one is a part of us," Sarah replied, her heart opening to deeper mysteries. She realized this wasn't just about the festival. It was an awakening, stirring something significant among them. This was community, a reflection of peace and hope echoing beyond their gathering. But as excitement filled the air, Sarah felt a tug of uncertainty once more. Will they feel the love we've poured into these posters? The question lingered in her mind, heavy yet undeniable. Just then, a passerby stopped to read a poster. Her eyes lit up, and she smiled, giving Sarah a nod of appreciation. The knot in Sarah's stomach loosened, and she felt a flicker of faith reignite within her. "Do you see that?" she whispered to the children, pointing to the woman. "That's just the beginning." But still, an ember of doubt flickered deep inside. What would the real reaction be when they unveiled their festival? As they gathered the last bits of supplies and headed home, a surging anticipation mixed with a whisper of uncertainty trailed behind them. The adventure had only begun, and the divine possibilities waiting on the horizon were still shrouded in mystery. What challenges would they face as they pressed on, driven by love and hope? Only time would tell. The day of the festival arrived, bright and vibrant, the sun pouring its golden light over the park like a divine blessing. Sarah stood at the edge of the gathering area, watching her community come alive with laughter, kindness, and the sense of food. Hope hung in the air, a palpable presence enveloping everyone present. "Look, Mama, there's Mr. Brown and Mrs. Thompson," Emma exclaimed, pointing towards the smiling faces wading through the crowd. The familiarity of friends ignited joyous laughter, contrasting beautifully with the nervousness in Sarah's heart. She could hardly catch her breath. Would the people embrace this celebration of unity and love? As the festivities began, children ran in circles, their laughter echoing like heavenly music through the trees. Sarah glanced at the blessings book, its pages waiting eagerly to capture the dreams they would share today. She invited people to write their wishes, allowing everyone's voices to fill the gaps where hope had once fallen silent. A line quickly formed. As each individual penned their hopes, Sarah felt their stories intertwining like threads in a grand tapestry. Each wish whispered a silent prayer, a heartfelt desire wrapped in longing. This was community built on faith. Suddenly, Clara bounded up to Sarah, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "Look at this," she said breathlessly, holding up a paper where she had drawn a whimsical image of stars and hearts. "I want to give it to someone special today." Sarah's heart melted at the innocence of the gesture, a perfect illustration of how love, when shared, multiplies. "Go find someone who looks like they need it most," she encouraged, her voice brimming with warmth. Little did she know, Clara's spontaneous kindness would ignite much more than mere joy. As the day unfolded, an unexpected visitor walked into the park, a woman hunched over, her clothes tattered and face-weary. Sarah watched as Clara spotted her and rushed over. The child knelt down, offering her drawing with pure sincerity. "I made this for you," she exclaimed, her eyes shining bright with unconditional love. The woman's gaze shifted from the drawing to Clara's beaming face. Tears glistened in her eyes, and Sarah held her breath, waiting for the moment to envelop them. "Thank you, dear. This means the world to me," she managed to whisper, her voice trembling. At that moment, everything shifted. People began gathering around, the energy permeating the air like a sweet melody. Familiar faces, strangers, and members of their beloved community witnessed this act of love, an unplanned ripple of miracles unfolding. "Let's share a prayer for her," Emma volunteered, her voice echoing with profound courage. The group joined hands, hearts beating in unison. They prayed together, drawing down blessings from above. It was one voice, many hearts, a beautiful symphony of love that washed over the woman like a warm embrace, pouring light into her shadows. After the prayer, the woman spoke. "I've been looking for a sign. Today, you've reminded me that I'm not alone." A wave of emotion surged through Sarah, filling her spirit with gratitude and warmth. This was it. She saw the divine purpose unfold, the true essence of love in action dancing before her eyes. The community was not just witnessing miracles. They were becoming a part of something greater. As the afternoon sun began to dip low in the horizon, the atmosphere glowed with a deep sense of connection. Stories flowed freely now, each person revealing their hearts, filling the blessings book until the pages overflowed. The air was thick with promise, like a fragrant garden in full bloom. Yet, as the joyous laughter filled the park, doubt lingered at the edges of Sarah's thoughts. Would this last amidst the challenges waiting beyond today? A shadow danced in her heart, casting uncertainty over the fulfillment of their visions. Just then, Mr. Brown stepped forward, sensing her unease. "Sarah, this day has transformed our connections. We are no longer just individuals. We are a movement driven by love," he declared, his voice rich with conviction. In that moment, Sarah realized this is precisely what faith and unity did. They pushed against doubt, igniting courage and hope. As night fell, the stars twinkled overhead, each one a reminder of the miracles in their midst. Looking around, she saw her children, friends, and even those once strangers now wrapped tightly in a ribbon of love. They were not just a circle, they were a community striving for greater connection, souls united in their shared faith and purpose. With tears of joy streaming down, Sarah understood the truth of her journey. It was in embracing vulnerability, in pouring love into the world around her, that transformation flourished. They wouldn't face struggles alone but climb the mountains together, fueled by divine joy and relentless hope. And that was the essence of faith. They would uplift one another, allowing their spirits to soar higher than they could imagine. They had ignited a revival, sparkling like stars upon the canvas of the night. With her heart alight, Sarah whispered her supplication. "Thank you, Lord, for the revelations shared amongst us. Help us continue this flow of gratitude, even beyond today." As the silence surrounded them, the air buzzed with expectation, promising a symphony of miracles yet to unfold, a collective divine journey that held endless possibilities. What awaited them next? The adventures were limitless, cascading like waves upon the shore, each blessing leading to a deeper connection to the heart of God. Dear friends, let us not forget the power of love stitched into every story. You need to subscribe now to join us on this journey and witness more exclusive faith-filled stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and help grow our community. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this ending. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation. Together, let's spread hope and light across the world.